This is Access Ann Arbor.
Hi, we're here today to talk about the Lamaze Family Center in Ann Arbor. Lamaze is an Ann Arbor nonprofit who has been in the community since 1967. Our mission is to empower, educate, and support families from pregnancy through preschool. We do this through a variety of classes for families, starting with childbirth and touching all ages and phases of parenting up to preschool age. With me today are Bonnie Kerber, our marketing manager who also teaches infant care classes, Ellen Turpening, our executive director, and Elizabeth Satterley, who is our programs manager, and she teaches childbirth education. So Ellen, if you could start us off with a little history of Lamaze.
Sure. Lamaze Family Center is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1967 by a group of nurses who wanted to have childbirth classes in the community to promote the well-being of family. Again, our mission is to empower, educate, and support families from pregnancy to preschool. In the last few decades, we have established ourselves as a leader in the childbirth education field.
Wonderful. So it's a great history of Lamaze. Bonnie, can you tell us what the center is like today?
Sure. As you both mentioned, the mission of Lamaze is to support, educate, and empower women and families from the age of from the phase of pregnancy all the way through preschool. And so that's what we do. We are really a central location for families to come, starting when they first find out they're pregnant. They can take an early pregnancy workshop with us. We have several classes for prenatal, and then we move into the postpartum phase. So for prenatal, we have the childbirth classes, an infant care class, and breastfeeding classes. And then once they have the baby, then mom can come and join us for a mother's group, which is a great way for moms to connect to one another. And those babies kind of graduate on to toddler groups. And then in between, we have all kinds of other interesting classes that they can take. We have an infant first aid and CPR class. We offer fathers groups from time to time, workshops, all different kind of things. So we really are the place to be for young families.
So it sounds like it's so much more than I think people think of it. Because when I tell people I'm associated with the Lamaze Center, they always say it's childbirth preparation, and they jump into that childbirth breathing that we all associate with Lamaze. But it sounds like we've evolved so far past that. So we offer all these classes. But I think, Elizabeth, you could tell us how our childbirth classes have moved beyond that basic breathing.
Definitely, Julie. Lamaze is not about the breathing anymore. It's just a tool that we utilize. Our Lamaze classes, our childbirth prep classes, follow the Lamaze International Guidelines, which are based around the 6 healthy birth practices, which include labor beginning on its own, freedom of movement throughout labor, continuous labor support, no routine interventions, pushing in upright and spontaneous pushing in upright and gravity neutral positions, and then no separation of mom and baby after the birth. So our classes are a lot more than just hee hee hoo hoo. Along with those key components of what labor is like and what creates a healthy birth, we also talk about hospital procedures, what they can expect postpartum, the whole process from beginning to end, basically, for our families. And a good thing to note is that our classes have been endorsed by the University of Michigan Women's Health Systems to, they're really confident in sending their families to us for really good, solid information.
All right. And where are our classes offered? Where are childbirth classes offered?
Our classes are offered at several locations. We teach at our offices on Boardwalk in Ann Arbor, and then we also offer classes at the Von Voigtlander Women's Hospital. We teach one night evening there, and we are also offering childbirth classes at My Urban Toddler in Saline. So we've got several little locations that families can get to, whatever's accessible to them.
All right.
And Julie, you facilitate the mothers groups. Can you tell us what makes those so great?
Yeah, I can. I was attracted to the mothers groups. I started in one with my first baby in 1996. She was 6 weeks old, and I was kind of at a loss. I was a stay-at-home mom and didn't know any other moms and didn't know where to turn. So I had taken childbirth classes at Lamaze, and so looked to them for more support, and they offered the mothers groups. So I started in one with my daughter, and I loved it so much, and it gave me so much that I started working for Lamaze and started facilitating the moms groups. And I think what is unique about what we can offer, they're small groups, and moms can come together to get the support that they feel they need when they're a little at loss, a little alone after they've had that baby. Some moms come with babies as young as 10 days old, and the mothers groups stay together until babies are 12 months old. So it gives moms a year, if they can do it, to bond with other moms and to find a community where they can share their successes, they can ask their questions, they can voice their concerns, all in a very supportive space. So our moms groups, some of them stay together for a year, like I said, until they transition into toddler groups. Some of them, though, I've met people in the community who were in moms groups in the 80s, and they're still together. Their moms groups still meet. So they've gone through mothering, several children, perhaps grandparenting, and they still go back to those bonds they formed in the very beginning. Because as I say to my moms when they come in, I don't have as many friends as I did because my friends are working or they don't have children. Now I have this baby. What am I going to do socially? And I say, look around you, because these women are your new friends. These moms are your new friends, and you're going to rely on each other for support all through this parenting journey. So we give them a space to do that. We give them the space to get to know each other, but we also encourage them to stay together. So I love it when they come to me for groups, but our real goal is to introduce them to this parenting community, to have them bond and stay together as long as they need to. And I think these groups that stay together 30 years, I mean, that's
amazing.
That's pretty remarkable.
Really
and it all starts with us. It all starts with what we can provide them. So our moms groups are just very special to me because I started with one, and very special to continue leading them. So yeah, Lamaze is really it's a special place. We offer a lot. And I think as times change, it seems we've had to turn to fundraising more and more to support these wonderful programs. So maybe, Bonnie, you can tell us a little bit about the programs that we offer and why we need to ask the community to help us out.
Sure, absolutely. It is true that we, as the years have gone on, and especially in the last 3 or 4 years, we've really had to turn to fundraising to help us support our programs. And one of the main reasons that people don't realize is that about 3 or 4 years ago, some of the programs changed within the health insurance. And so, unfortunately, childbirth classes were one of the things that were cut and are no longer covered through health insurance programs, most health insurance programs. And so that has changed things for Lamaze. And unfortunately, our class numbers have not only dropped, but it's also made families really look a little closer at taking a childbirth class and make that a true priority. They have to make that a true priority in order to take it and pay the money for it out of pocket. And also with the economy being the way it has been, it's been quite difficult. So we have noticed a huge increase in the office of phone calls that have come in from families who really do want to take the childbirth class, but are struggling to afford that. And we feel so passionately that every woman deserves the opportunity to feel empowered going into her birth, that we don't turn anyone away. And so we make accommodations and offer scholarship programs for everyone who is struggling to pay and allow them to come to our childbirth classes. We all, as I said, feel so passionately about that. The other day we were in the office, just for an example, and a mother called in, a grandmother I should say, because she was calling for her 15-year-old daughter who just found out that she was pregnant and was 36 weeks along already and was desperate to be prepared for her childbirth. And so one of our educators stepped right in and said, I'll teach her in a private class for free.
Awesome.
And so that's kind of what we do at Lamaze. We are there to step in when someone needs us and make sure that every woman going into birth is prepared.
Absolutely wonderful.
So that's what our fundraising dollars are going towards, is making sure that everyone can be a part of Lamaze.
Yeah, awesome. And Ellen, I know we offer some free programs to moms. You want to share a little bit about that?
We do. Lamaze Family Center offers many important services to the community, 3 of which is our teen childbirth program, our postpartum depression support group, and our miscarriage and newborn loss support group. we offer other services too in the community. To give you an example of a story, late in the fall, took a phone call from a pregnant mom choosing to give birth to her baby, knowing her baby was going to be born without a brain, knowing her baby would not survive very long after birth. Due to this, we had our childbirth instructor contact her healthcare provider, and we were able to create and customize a childbirth plan and a class just for her and her spouse, specifically for her needs. And then we were able to offer additional support and services for her and her family through our miscarriage and newborn loss support group.
Awesome. Awesome. So we could meet her needs in a way, not the usual
Yes.
way in our childbirth classes, but we were able to step in and help her out.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wonderful. Can you talk a little bit more about the miscarriage, newborn loss, and the postpartum depression support groups?
Again, those three programs that I had mentioned, our teen childbirth program and our postpartum depression and our miscarriage and newborn loss group, those three programs are absolutely free to the community. And that is another example of our fundraising dollars and community support. That's what that goes to support that. Our goal is not to turn anyone away. We passionately believe in our mission, and that is what we do, and we absorb that cost.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. So we are truly involved in our community. We love our community and the parenting community in Ann Arbor and surrounding area. So we do so much more than just childbirth. And I think, Bonnie, if you could share some of the other stuff that happens in our office, that would be great.
Sure. We have all kinds of different things going on throughout the year there. We really try to be a community for the families, and so we have parenting workshops and informational nights, different nights out that we're trying to really get going for moms and families to be involved in, away from their kids as well as with their children. Seasonally, we have different family events. In the fall, we have a Halloween night, or Halloween day, where people can come, bring their children, especially the really tiny ones who are really too young to trick or treat, and give them an opportunity to put their costumes on and play some games and run around, and that's a lot of fun. We have a holiday event where they can come and meet Santa and have their photo taken in a little bit of a more low-key and friendly environment. We also have a Mother's Day tea where the little ones and their mamas can come in and have a nice special time together. And then, of course, in the fall, we have our big silent auction, which is our annual event, and that happens in October.
All right. Can you expand a little bit on the silent auction? Tell us more about that.
Sure. Yeah, that is a great event that's become our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it's a really fun event. It's great because it allows us to involve the community in a lot of different ways. Our families from Lamaze, the alumni, the educators and staff at Lamaze, and also lots of local businesses. And we've had a lot of support from businesses in the community for that. And we all come together and have a great fun night and make some good revenue for Lamaze and our free programs. The auction that we had this past year was in honor of the 40th anniversary of the Miscarriage and Newborn Loss Support Group.
Right.
So we were able to really bring back some of those past alumni and support that program even further.
Right, which is awesome.
It's a great event.
Okay, wonderful. And I think since you brought up Miscarriage and Newborn Loss Group, could we talk a little bit more about what exactly that is? And anyone who wants to kick it on that. But if you explain a little bit more about what that group does.
Absolutely. I think that group is one of the most meaningful groups that we do at Lamaze, and we're all very touched by the need for that group, because we know how important pregnancy and childbirth is, and we don't take it for granted, but sometimes the reality is it doesn't end the way that everyone wants it to be. And one of the quotes from someone that we received during our auction last year was a mom who went through that program as well as our childbirth and mothers groups. But she said that it meant a lot to her that Lamaze was there to support her in times of joy and in times of grief.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the grief is there, and it does happen, and it's it's really important that those people are able to have a place to come and be supported and be heard and listen and be able to have their needs met during that difficult time.
Yeah. And when does that, how often does that meet?
It meets once a month
Okay.
in the evenings.
Okay, wonderful. And kind of along those same lines, if someone could talk a little bit about our postpartum depression group. I know I work with the moms when they come to me for mothers groups. They're in their postpartum period, and for many women, it's a very happy, wonderful time. But a lot of women struggle with settling into motherhood, and they have feelings of depression, feelings of anxiety. I had a mom tell me yesterday, I'm having all these feelings. I think I'm depressed, but no one will talk about it. No one will talk to me about it, and I just don't know where to turn. So I think our postpartum depression group is wonderful, but if you want to add a little bit about that.
So our postpartum depression group meets the first and third Monday of every month in the morning during the day. And we have a licensed social worker who comes in and facilitates with the moms who want to come and join, and it's free to them. They have somebody who can help them in a real way deal with some of the lows that come with birth and maybe have come from the pregnancy or the birth or just dealing with a newborn, because that's really hard sometimes. And so it's okay, it gives them a space. They meet other moms sometimes there's several mothers, sometimes it's just that one mom and her baby show up, and that's okay. That facilitator works one-on-one with them, and it's a really great opportunity for her to get some help, to not feel like she's costing her family a lot of money or having to worry about that financial side of things. So it really opens it up for these moms, and I see them come in. I'm there in the office at the time when they come in. They come in. Sometimes they look okay, sometimes they look really sad when they come in, and when they leave, they do look a lot lighter, a lot happier. They were able to unburden themselves a little bit, and we really value that as a community gift as well. Like, we're so happy to be able to foster that for these women, because there aren't a lot of things like that in the community. They can find other moms at mothers groups, but sometimes the other moms don't want to hear that either, because maybe they're not there or they don't want to own up to it themselves yet. But that mom who's really been able to admit it to herself needs some space to be able to put it out there. So we kind of help them, and we'll refer them to further help if they need it as well.
Yeah,
So
which is sometimes just as important.
Very.
We get them to the help that we need. Okay, and last, I just want to talk a little bit more about our teen childbirth program, the third of our 3 free programs. So if someone can just explain really quickly what the teen childbirth program is.
I've taught it a couple times, and it's actually a really exciting group to teach. We're not usually super excited when our teenagers are pregnant, but they're making a choice to keep their babies and to work with it, and we want to support that and support those women, whether they're keeping their babies with them or giving them up for adoption. We want them to have a positive birth experience and prepare them for that, because I'm sure a teenager more than anybody needs a little more preparation for birth.
Absolutely.
So we meet with them in a couple different formats. Sometimes it's multiple times, sometimes it's just one long session, and we talk about the nuts and bolts of birth and what it looks like and what it sounds like and what their opportunities to make choices are, so that they feel like they're going to this as empowered as possible, because the system doesn't always treat them like they have any power or they have any choices, and that can just lead to a cycle of more problems down the road for those girls. So we really want to facilitate as much empowerment and positivity with this circumstance as we can. So we try to work with them, and like we said, no family is turned away. If we're not offering a teen childbirth class at the time that mom needs it, we fit them into one of our other programs so that they still get the opportunity to get the help that they need, like we were talking about with that other teen mom. So it's definitely a great program.
And I'd like to stress again that we will not turn anyone away. We feel that very important.
Which is why our fundraising efforts are so important. So Ellen, if you could talk just a little bit about the other partnerships we have in our community. I mean, I feel that we do a lot of wonderful work, but I know that we can't do it alone. We need to reach out to other organizations and work with them to just make our mission stronger and make our program stronger. So if you could talk a little bit about what are the other organizations in the community that we work with, so we can do what we do so well.
Absolutely. We recently partnered with University of Michigan to launch our new early pregnancy workshops that we are going to be doing. They will be offered at our location and in the future at U of M. But currently we are launching our early pregnancy workshop at the Plymouth Library.
Okay.
And the idea behind that is to reach further out into the community. We also have partnered with WIC, the Corner Health Center, the Father Patrick Jackson House, and Babies R Us to expand our teen childbirth program.
Wonderful.
And we would like to add an infant care segment to that. The idea behind that is to teach our adolescent parents how to properly care for their newborn when they go home. So some of these reasons are why it's so important for community support and for our fundraising, why it is so important to Lamaze Family Center, because for us to continue to offer these fantastic programs to the community, we can't do it without the help, and we really do need the community help.
Yeah, absolutely, which is why we're here tonight.
Yes.
Why we're here,
Yes.
why we're here to talk about all this. So I think we all have children. We've all taken classes at Lamaze. So in the time that we have left, if maybe we can start with Elizabeth, maybe you can share a story, a personal story. We've talked about our professional
I
part.
could talk about it forever.
I know.
I took my Lamaze class with Lamaze almost 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Oh my goodness, my baby's getting old. And with that, I loved it. I loved the childbirth. I was a pastry chef at the time, and was excited about that. Went in to have my baby, had a great birth experience, which I attributed to the class and all the information that I got from it, which was wonderful. And then I kind of moved on. Did end up joining a mother's group though, and I really lucked out. I fell into an amazing group of women. That was when my son was 4 months old. He'll be 8 this summer. And I just made plans with the same women I met in that mother's group to have dinner on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I am grateful for them every day, because it really is a community parenting experience. I feel like I'm not sure how I'd be a parent without them,
Without your help,
on call for me. So I really feel so passionately that the Lamaze classes helped me with my birth, and then those mothers groups really helped me with my parenting, which was so challenging at the time when he was 4 months old. So I was really grateful for that, and that's then how I became a childbirth educator, because I was so excited about Lamaze, and now I work as programs manager, and I'm really involved. I have my hand in everything around here, and I'm so in love with the place. So it's really been a huge part of my life for the last several years, and I'm really excited to be helping out with it and keep it going.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful. Bonnie or Ellen, if you want to share a little personal?
I'm probably one of the newest members of the family, and I have 6 of my own children, and my number 7's my foster care daughter. And what was great, having a foster child so young, we got her at 9 months old, and so when I came on board, she was about a year and a half old. She had some unique special needs that Lamaze Family Center was able to help with, because we could bring her to a family event, to utilize the parent-toddler group to be able to help her with some of her insecurities and some of her special needs. I mean, we had some abandonment issues and things like that. So this was a great way that we could support her needs by still being able to be a part of that environment with her. And our parent-toddler group is really designed to work with the family instead of going into a daycare setting where you drop your child off. It's really designed to work with the parent and work with the toddler, and to be able to show them different skills, different ideas to take home, anything from crafting to parenting support group ideas that we can share with each other. So I found that very beneficial.
Yeah, we really try to hit every end of it, you know, absolutely. Anything you're facing during your pregnancy, during your parenting, I think we can come up with a solution to almost any problem, which is pretty wonderful. So yeah, Bonnie, if you just kind of want to...
Sure. I had a very similar experience to Elizabeth. I came in with my oldest daughter, who's now 11, and did childbirth classes and the mothers group, who are my dear friends to this day. One of my goddaughters is a daughter of my mother's group friends. My daughter's best
Mine
friend,
too.
BFF, is still her friend. From they were babies rolling around on the
Yep.
floor together, and so that's the same thing. I just got completely hooked, and I love this place, and I joined the board of directors and sat on that board for 3 years, and wound up here in the position of marketing manager, and I'm just happy to be able to give back to an organization that has given me so much.
Right.
And I just feel like it's so important to be able to continue to offer everything that I was able to benefit from.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and as I said earlier, I mean, I started in 1996 with the birth of my first daughter, who will be 17 soon. And it just, it hooked me. You know, the place offers, Lamaze can offer so much support, so much wonderful support to women, to families, and even children. Your daughter's best friend she met as an infant, which, I mean, how many
benefiting.
organizations can say that, right? So not only through pregnancy and childbirth, but through raising your children and your children's social life too.
Right.
which is pretty
is
wonderful.
really rare.
So, yeah, if you want to finish this up, Bonnie, that would be great.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, we have just been so happy to have had the opportunity to come on to Access Ann Arbor today to talk about Lamaze Family Center and to let the community know who we are and all of the great services that we offer. And we obviously feel that Lamaze really is a special place, and we offer amazing services to the community, to the families of Ann Arbor. And we just really want to make a strong plea that in order to continue to do the great work that we're doing, we really need the financial support from members of the community and businesses of the community. So we hope that people will see that and value the services that we're doing and be able to support us a little bit more. If you would like to make a donation towards one of our 3 free programs, towards our scholarship fund or an item towards our silent auction, we would be so grateful. You could check out our website at www.lamazefamilycenter.org. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all for being here tonight. I think we've let the community know who we are and what we're about. It's not just breathing through childbirth anymore. We start the minute you find out you're pregnant and carry you through for the rest of your parenting. So, yeah.
You're right.
Thank you all for sharing that information.
Thanks,
Thank
Julie.
you, Julie.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.